These players are changing fantasy football in week 5. That and more this week out in space with Mr. Ben Valenzuela. Point in time checkup. Ken's World. Not only does power need a network, but it needs multiple networks. I had no idea that the power industry maintained its own network, and Ken's learning all about it. I've got my mother-in-law coming in this Monday. She's actually taken off here in just a few short hours. Godspeed. The house isn't quite where it needs to be, but we still have one more day to figure all that stuff out. And on a personal note, things have been a little rough between Mel and I lately. Nothing too crazy, but just with the pace of life and the kids and just all the stuff we're going through, I just felt like it was a good thing just to throw out there that it's not always, sunshines and puppies. But we're putting in the work and we're having some good conversations, albeit some hard ones. Shout out to the rest of the league, Sam, Tom, Hunter, Casey, Tripp. Congrats. I hope I didn't miss anybody on the completion of your Spartan race. And most of all, congrats, no injuries. Thank God, Casey, you made it through with your ACL intact. Ben, Tri-City, Vista, Oceanside, Carlsbad, for the uninitiated. What does Tri-City mean to you?
Yeah, I spent most of my time probably in Oceanside growing up. And then later in my life, more in Vista. But Carlsbad too. But definitely, I lived in Oceanside. My family lived in Oceanside. We moved there when I was 7. So that was more home, probably up until high school. Obviously, I went to Tri-City Christian. So, a lot of friends that just all over the place, all over North County.
Yeah.
And then, but when I was older, we moved. We lived primarily in Vista, and when we moved back to California this time, we were living in Vista. Elisa's parents are in Vista, her family's in Vista, so it all blends together for me at this point.
It's all blended together. So, on that note, last week with Hunter, he unveiled that we went to the same elementary school together. And for a minute there, I thought that we had one of the oldest connections in the league because my best friend Sherwin started in 2nd grade. And so I was pretty quickly going to PCC on Sundays, but we had a little bit of back and forth with that. And so on that note, let's hold on. I want to pause one more time. You said Wisconsin. I was talking today to somebody about the nature of your trades. And I think it's a common sentiment that you're one of the slow trade partners in the league. And my response was, and you're the slowest by a country mile, Ben. Do you think your home being in Wisconsin has something to do with that? And could you give us some insights into your life up there in the great Midwest?
Sure. Are you referring to like my response times?
Yes, Ben. We are referring collectively. I will speak for the league. It is the response times on the trades in particular that we're talking about.
Yeah, that's no, I think that's me. I think if I told my wife, if I told Elise that, like how I am with the trades, I think she would just be like, yeah, like that makes perfect sense. Like, yes, that's
okay. How you So we're not getting special treatment.
No, like I think I often will look at text. I have 2 friends I have to respond back to. But I often look at text. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll respond to that. Yeah. And then, I think about it. I'll think about it later. Oh yeah, I got to respond to that. And then, no. So I was talking with Sam, and I think I sent Sam like this long paragraph just to, in my mind, make up for the 2 days that I didn't respond. And try to give him enough explanation as possible because I felt bad. But yeah, so that sounds about right. I have been trying to respond a little quicker, but yeah, no, that's just me. Oh yeah.
Got it. Now, yeah, give us maybe like your favorite thing about being up in Wisconsin.
Oh man, gosh, I think just like being surrounded by nature all the time, like and just being able to find like just peace and quiet.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Like it's so quiet right now. I don't hear cars driving by. I don't hear, kids outside my apartment just doing whatever. Like it's just quiet. I can go outside. We spent the day outside. Josiah and Micah are running around the yard. I'm cooking out there, and it's just we can do whatever we want. There's nobody bugging us, nobody saying anything. Like it's just us. It's just peace and quiet. And so that's what I miss the most. That's what we miss the most. And yeah, that's what we like most about being back here.
Yeah, I think my blood pressure just went down like 10 to 20%. Got relaxed just hearing you talking about all that silence you're enjoying right now. So I can definitely understand what that does to a soul. Back to the Tri-City bit. I first knew you as the Flying Cuban. What's in a name, Ben? 'Tis but thy name, that is my enemy. What does the Flying Cuban mean to you nowadays, 20 some odd years later, 30 some odd years later?
Yeah,
holy smokes.
I'm glad you know that name. Like that's like middle school. Yeah, that's pretty legendary. I mean, so that's cool that you still know that. I don't know. I can't even think of how that even came up now. I mean, it's been so long.
I remember, like, I was told that you were getting bullied in PE class in particular, and that you were the easiest kid for the guys to pick up and throw. And so, like, the flying came from the fact that you were literally being ejected out of like some room. And then I don't know where the Cuban comes from, because I don't think you have Cuban background, right?
No. I would tend to like over dramatize or overreact to just to make the situation just funnier, and so
it
might be like I'm just gonna freak out and run and jump off the lockers and like somehow crawl up into a window, just be over dramatic about the situation. Cuban, I think because my name Cuban, I don't know, I think someone just said like, oh, well, my friend Jake Dunphy, who Graham probably knows that name, but he would well, you're a Cuban because your name is Ben, and that was basically it. It just stuck, and then so it's just Ben's Cuban. Ben's not Cuban, but Ben's Cuban. So that was it.
Yeah. And what about nowadays? Because like with our youngest now, Amelia, she gets the Mei Mei tag, which is like younger sister in Chinese. And like sometimes I forget her name because it's like I'm like looking at her and I'll be like, because we just call her Mei Mei all the time. So, well, do you have any like nicknames around the house, or just like in the family that are fun?
For myself?
Anybody?
Yeah. We thought Josiah, we would call him Saya. We thought that, but that never stuck. That wasn't, so we just call him Josiah. Sometimes it's like, sometimes it's Joe. But usually just Josiah. Micah, we'll call him Chunk, or we'll call him my wife's oldest nephew thought his name was Mitcha when I thought it was Mitcha. So we call him Mitcha. And then he has quite a bit of an attitude sometimes. So if he has an attitude, then we say, well, he's being a Mitch right now. So
oh man.
So that's those are the nicknames for him. He's got a few, but it's usually we call Micah Mitcha quite a bit, Mitcha and Chunk, and so
I love it. Well, I don't think you were being a Mitch at all during the draft. I think you're actually being pretty savvy by paying up. You took a top-heavy approach, which is different for you. But what wasn't different, it was you got your rooks at the end of the draft like you do every year. So how do you feel like you like your draft 5 weeks in?
Yeah. Well, I'm 3-1, so I feel fine. Like, I mean, I know I could easily be 1-3. I mean, I had some pretty lucky wins, but I feel good. I was hoping Travion. I mean, I really was like buying the Travion preseason hype, like drinking all the Kool-Aid. So that's been a little disappointing. Hoping that he can, bounce back here. But Quinshon's been nice. I mean, I did not expect that. That was like, I'm just going to nominate him because I can't think of anybody else to nominate, and I don't really want him. So okay, get him for $1. But so that was nice. That's been pretty lucky. I mean, I feel good. I wanted Bijan. Like I told you, I was going to go get Bijan. I was excited to get 57. When I heard Evan say he was going to go for 75, like that's when I was like, oh crap, I gotta go. So I was for sure going to go as high as 75 for Bijan. So really excited that I went 50, got him 57.
Yeah.
Lamar, I had him at 35, so I was happy to get him at 30. AJ Brown, man, I felt like because I saved money on the other guys, and he was just like there. I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll just get him. And yeah, that obviously that was a mistake. So I left the draft like optimistic, kind of unsure, but I guess sitting here at 3-1, feeling pretty good. Quinshon's playing well. Yeah, so I'm feeling okay. I'm optimistic, kind of cautiously optimistic, but
yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I love Lamar paired with Bijan. I think that just gives your team such an insane floor, and like the upside is just unimaginably high with those guys, Yeah. But at the same time, looking at your roster right now, and you've got 3 Pats, and I think
I had 4. I had
4. Yeah. So like, don't necessarily love that. I think that 3 is kind of pushing it. 4 is you're off in space somewhere. So, but taking it back to the Quinshon Judkins back, I'm gonna I said that terribly. Quinshon Judkins. We're a few weeks preseason. Ben and I are getting coffee on the corner Starbucks back home in Oceanside, and I turn my laptop to you, Ben, and I show you Matt Waldman's rankings. It has Judkins right below Bijan Robinson. Are you telling me that had nothing to do with your nomination?
I don't remember that.
No, you don't? Okay.
No, it was pure luck that I just happened to click his name. I would love to say that. I watched him in college and I knew he was going to be a stud, and no, not at all. I couldn't think of any way to nominate. The timer was coming down. Quinshon, people want Quinshon, right? No, they don't. But so
no, he's one of my biggest kind of kicking myself in the drafts. I think like not grabbing Keenan, not grabbing Quinshon, and I also was looking at Luther sideways, and you got him from me. And I have a little bit of relief, man. You're kind of taking some weight off my shoulder, calming me down, centering me with this Midwest, calm and silence, relieving me of this burden that I thought that you had this really high opinion of Judkins because I showed him my rankings when you don't even remember. But I think that's a perfect segue to our trade talks, right? So like, I'm super high on Judkins, because I respect my rookie guy's info, right? And so I'm pretty sure as early as like week 3, like his first start, I was shooting trade offers at you.
You did,
And then my first trade to you today, or maybe it was yesterday, I was trying to ship Mason and what was it, Debo for Judkins.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was kind of like I want to say a non-starter, but you didn't respond. And and then I was like, I gotta turn up the heat, right? So then I was like, okay. And since Adams already played, I kind of have Wilson and Adams interchangeable. So I threw Wilson and Mason for Judkins and Igbuka, right?
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah, and I thought we were going to get pretty close on that one. But I've heard from you that you're taking a more cautious approach on your trades this year, which is surprising, as you're usually the one that's kind of mixing it up the most, I would say. Maybe not Brendan. Again, like Brendan has the stronger history there, I would say. But you guys are pretty close. I'm kind of in that orbit. Sam is in that orbit. And then my last offer to you, which I could have swore I was going to get you, was Garrett Wilson for Judkins straight up, right? So here I am taking 3 straight swings, and I think I'm out week 5. We're not going to have the first trade live on a podcast tonight. But what were your thoughts when I'm throwing those trades out to you?
Okay, well, I will say it first. My no response is I am 100% thinking about so if somebody out there offers me a trade and I'm not responding, I am definitely thinking about it.
All right.
I'm trying to do as much research as possible. And that's probably, yeah, I mean, that's a lot of it too. I'm trying to like get as much, like I want to make the best decision possible. And it usually ends up just taking me, days to do that, fortunately. Like actually, speaking of Sam, I didn't respond to him like 3 days ago. I swear, I'm still thinking about that last message you sent me 3 days later. So anyway, I think I came in, I decided this year, like I want to be patient. Well, it was more after the draft, like seeing the team I had, seeing that I had some of these, someone like Diggs, who I also thought like he might take some time to ramp up. Josh Downs with the new quarterback, like he might take some time. I just thought like I need to be really patient this year. Like most years, I'm trying to make the move. I'm trying to flip people, and it hasn't worked out last few years. Like I most of the trades I've made in the last like probably 3 years have not worked out in my favor. So I have to be extra patient, and I still want to be extra patient, and just be sure. Like I feel like, I mean, obviously you want to feel like you're winning a deal. I'm going to feel like I win, but I really feel like just very confident. Like, I got.
Well, I won't go that far on my side. I've taken some swings on some trades that I knew I wasn't the winner in, but it was fun. But
I don't want to do that. Like, I hear you, and I've done that, and it is fun. I don't want to do that this year.
Yeah, no, and I've been telling, or we've been talking a little, and I've been telling other people that I'm trying to get away from that part of the year, and that in those first 4 weeks, I think pretty much everything's out the window. I think my opinion is we're reacting to the beginning of the season, and so when it comes to like the rankings coming into the year, I'm always trying to be super fluid, right? Again, like the Hill Keenan thing, I think is like the perfect example for that, right? I think 12 out of 13 managers would agree that was a bad trade, right? And like injury aside, it's just like bad luck, nothing you're going to do about that.
Sure.
It was like a toss-up, and again, it looked like Hill was kind of trending in the right direction. So maybe long term it looked like he was going to be the better play, but again, like trying to be open to those kind of like new possibilities. And so I know I think I threw this out earlier, but I don't think I got a direct answer. So I'm going to use this podcast as leverage. Judkins, my final swing here. And I think we went through this already, but Garrett Wilson and Deebo Samuel for Judkins and Diggs. How does that hit you, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta think about it.
All right. So on to the next thing.
I gotta give you a no response, and then think about it.
So we share some heritage when it comes to our fantasy knowledge. We've both spent some time with the football guys, particularly the Audible with Cecil and Sig. You've dropped a few quotes on me that lets me know that you know what's up. Some kind of you've watched enough of those guys to know what was going on. What are some of the things that you took away from their style of fantasy football?
Yeah, I think one, like when that comes to mind, I think I have to attribute the Pat Hill stack. I'm pretty sure I got that idea from Sigmund. Like I remember a year, because I think they would have like their player takes, but they would also really talk about like draft strategy and like roster construction and like what type of team you're building. And so I think I remember that year he threw out the idea, like if you have that pick at the back, if you have that early round 1 pick, and then you're coming around that 2-3 term, like go get Hill and Kelsey, or Hill and Mahomes and Kelsey, or Mahomes and Hill. Try to build that juggernaut team, get that, so I think I got that from them. But that was all. So I always liked listening to them, because again, it wasn't just like who's good, who's not good, who's a bust, but it was just more like what type of team are you going to build this year? And I thought that was very interesting and a lot of fun. Yeah.
And like for me this year, one of the things, it's like Sig was doing some drafts live as well this year, and he drafted to be fair, it was like a tight end premium format, but he drafted Bowers and Kraft, right? Because he was pretty high on Kraft this year. And I can't say that wasn't a big influence in the way that, me picking up Kraft, right? Because I was like, okay, I've already got Kittle. And one of the things they talk about is like leaning into your strengths, right? Making one of your strengths a superpower, right? And so like in a similar vein, picking up that stack like you did kind of makes that a superpower, having one of those two guys, because you get the double touchdown upside, and especially in our league with this 6 touchdown passing scoring format. And so again, I can't like rave as much on these guys as I have, in the past. And they have such a small viewership, which is insane to me. Like their videos hardly get more than a few thousand people to show up to and like watch them, you know. But yeah, I think their style is amazing. They have deep, you know, not only like football knowledge, but they've been playing fantasy football longer than we have, you know. And so they've got that kind of track record, not only to be able to like hear and see what's going on, but then to kind of like teach you another way to look at like the fantasy landscape. And like for your example, you know, the stack, and then like this year, like turning that tight end into like a superpower, right? Again, not to say that I just didn't immediately turn around and trade him away for nothing, but you know, you only do so much. So
Yeah.
Taking a step forward, how are we feeling about Jackson Dart? As a Bolts fan, it was a little rough watching him go, but I've got this sneaking suspicion that Jesse Minter was holding on to some of his kind of like QB spy stuff, seeing that we're going to be playing Jaden Daniels this week. You know, Neighbors going out is a fucking shame. Sorry, Brendan. And just the league in general. He's one of those, you know, top 5 studs. You know, now we got Wandale, Slayton, maybe even Theo. Are all these guys, you know, people that you're looking to try and make plays for, or how you seen this New York Giants situation?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's such a bummer that we can't see Dart with Neighbors. I mean, it's going to be hard to, unless he comes out and just kills it, it's going to be hard to like assess him for next year. Yeah, it's too bad. Neighbors is, as someone that had Neighbors last year for a little bit and like watched those early games, like, dude, that dude is fun to watch. So that's too bad. As far as like how those other Giants players are going to be, I mean, I don't know. None of them are like special players anyway. I mean, they'll probably be solid. Like Wandale will be solid. Slayton will have his game. I think by this time in their career, we know that they're not like special studs. So they'll probably be fine. They'll have their roles, but yeah, I don't think they're trying to like make moves for any of them. But
yeah, I'm on board with you on those guys. I think that especially with Wandale and Slayton, maybe Theo Johnson, you can make an argument, or, you know, that he's a second year player, right, coming off an injury. But I don't think we're going to argue that Killa Cam, Mr. Scattaboo, is a problem. Fucking good on you, Sam, for grabbing that guy. Do you have anything else to say about the G-Man?
No, I was like out on Cam with that injury and just being like that's such a buzz. So bummed I wasn't like higher on him. Yeah, he was a guy I was just like, no, I don't want to touch him. Rookie, not in training camp, but yeah, so sweet pick. Yeah, I mean, he looks sick. He's fun to watch.
Yeah, he's a stud. Yeah. Cincinnati Bengals, have they hit rock bottom? Is it too late to sell low on your guys? Is it even worth to sell low at this point?
If I have Chase, I'm not selling low. No, I'm still gonna try to get like as much as I could for him. I think. Yeah, I think he'd be fine. You know, just kind of, if I'm Casey, I'm just hanging tight, you know, hoping I'm in the playoff hunt somewhere around 500 until Chase gets back. So I'm probably not selling low. And then T, I mean, if you have T, like, I guess you could say, you could sell low, but
what's low? You know, it's like wide receiver.
Yeah, it's tough too. You probably might as well just hold him. Chase Brown might be the guy that there might be some games that he, you know, falls in the end zone and then, you know, you could sell him. Yeah, he might be the one that maybe that he might have some trade value. There might be some different opinions in him around the league, but I think Chase and T are probably just holds. Like they're going to be tough to move. Yeah,
I think Chase just being the running back in the volume probably for me has the most value. And then I love Jason's Wee Higgins. That's such a good nickname. Unfortunately, he's probably going to be Wee Lad for the rest of the for the season. I think I'll skip ahead just a tad. Lad looking like a bust right next to your guy AJ Brown. Do you feel like these two guys have any path back to returning the wide receiver one value that both you and Jay were looking to get early?
All right. So I haven't watched many Charger games, so maybe you could correct me on this one. But I was just listening to something today, and they were going over Lad, and they were talking about the guy was talking about how, you know, he had watched all of his routes or snaps or whatever, and there were several, he said, charted plays where he was like wide open, down, but like Herbert either got sacked or something that was out of Lad's control. And he was just talking up Lad, like he's still like running great routes. He's getting open. He's just kind of, it's more like unlucky. So anyway, I think with that, it just sounded like, again, this is my analysis. I'm not watching Lad, but it just sounds like there's a little more promise with him. Like there's some promise with him. So I wouldn't be concerned, if I had him. I'd be really bummed because, second round pick. But as far as AJ Brown, like how I'm feeling about him, I think what keeps me optimistic is the schedule in the second half of the year. Like they're playing some teams where you could see some high scoring games. Maybe they need to pass. I think it's frustrating, but I mean, he's still, like, if you watch that Rams game, gosh, that dude, there's no way you can say there's like 5 better offensive players in the league.
No. Yeah.
That guy is everything that McCaffrey is and Puka is and Chase. So, I mean, he's a tough one too, where for me, like I don't want to sell low because I know the spikes are going to come. I'm fortunate to be in the position I am, 3-1.
Yeah.
Kind of hang tough, but he's been frustrating for sure.
Yeah, and new offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo, squeaking in there. Again, football guys kind of thrown out that maybe he's like a nepotism hire, right? Because he's kind of been in the coaching staff for a long time, and as like the Super Bowl shuffle happens and they're moving coaches around, maybe it's just kind of like his time to move up, right? But if I remember correctly, he's never called like a game in his professional coaching career, right? And so I think if there's an upside for the Philadelphia offense, and again, it's not like they're not undefeated, right? But he's making Saquon, he's making AJ, he's making a lot of these weapons look like really, really average, right? And so I don't know if they go out and like fire like an offensive coordinator mid-season on a Super Bowl team. Like I don't think that happens, right? But maybe like they kind of start taking away some of the play calling responsibilities from him or something, right? and start shifting, right? And or like again, AJ starts pulling up Wikipedia on the sidelines, and start reading, whatever. Like I've got some faith again, like as a Devonta Smith, holder, that I'm happy to hold on to him, let him sit, but yeah, if I'm AJ, it's a harder one to swallow. But I do feel like there's some second half of the year upside, matchups aside, but just kind of like getting this whole new OC thing, ironed out.
Yeah, they're both too talented. I mean, and all it takes is like one key injury to the defense, and now suddenly they're in more shootouts. And so, yeah, I'm trying to stay optimistic.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to hit you low, Ben, but this is just what my guys are giving me. Ravens, looking like the Ravens of years past.
Can we talk about how sick Bijan is? Come on.
Yeah, no, he's great, dude. He's like the closest thing to LT that we've seen in a while. But Lamar pulled up lane with that hammy. Teams not really built to play from behind. They invested in that king to lean on people heavy. We saw Justice Hill getting all the work, right? That they're playing in these scripts where the gosh darn third down back is getting the looks, right? Dude, like, are you looking at selling your Ravens right now?
All right. If I've got Henry, again, I don't. You could probably still get like pretty high name value for Henry. I don't know. I mean, maybe I would probably just write it out. Lamar will be back. He'll be fine. I think Henry will be fine. Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be fine. So
yeah, my last question on that point was, is Harbaugh getting stale? But I think that as again, like the league swinging back to this kind of hard-nosed style of football, that he's right in that pocket. And again, this team's been there before, and they've got the experience, and the defense might not be there. In theory, that might be a good thing for you as the Lamar owner. I'm a little more wary on the run game, but again, it's Derrick Henry, and again, like it's super hard to move off that guy. I want to be selling low on him either. So
they're still going to lean on him. He still has that ability to break off big runs and big plays, even if they're down. They're going to give it to him. He had some unfortunate fumbles early in the year, and kind of hurt them there too. But no, I wouldn't sell low or anything on them.
All right, Ben, we're through the thick of it, and now we're on to Michael Penix Jr. Fired him up week 2 for the 5 burger that he gifted my team. But he's another one of those guys that my guy Matt Waldman was high on. And he wasn't saying that he's going to be burning the earth down, but he's one of those guys that's going to develop and he's going to get better as the year goes on. So as you know, Atlanta's got their bye going on right now. They got some weapons, your guy Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts looking like he's going to get some points this year. You think they're going to get their shit together on the bye week? They got that light schedule coming up after that. Is it wheels up on this Atlanta offense, Ben?
Kendall, if you wouldn't have fired up that 5 burger, that would have been me. If I wouldn't have got a top quarterback, one of my plans would have been Michael Penix would have been in the plan B. So, so I would have been right there with you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess to be honest, I don't really care. Just keep feeding my guy Bijan. I mean, this guy looks unbelievable. Like we had Achan, we both seen like what we both know how much fun it is to have Achan on our team.
Oh yeah.
And Bijan is that like the dude can touch the ball from anywhere in the field, take it to the house. I mean, yeah, he's a lot of fun. So I hope they get it together. It's a fun team, a fun offense.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see Captain Kirk back out there, but
no. And I don't think we will. And they've also shown that they're willing to just absolutely feed their running backs, right? What's his face? The backup running back is kind of like the 1B. But even with like the 10, 12 touches that he's getting, Bijan is just feasting because he's got that just monster talent and the vision to back it up, right? So, yeah, man, I think you're in for a sweet ride with your main stallion. Sweet ride it was not last week as a Green Bay Packer. You are our other cheesehead in the league. This defense was hyping it up early. It looks like they're going to be a monster this year, shutting everybody down. Was that a fluke game? What was going on? Good old Schottenheimer dialing it up in Dallas. It was a good game, or so I hear. 40-40 tie. I think that's the first time, and if not, it's the highest tie since like the fucking 60s or some shit like that. What's going on with this Green Bay defense?
Yeah, no, I think I heard it was the first 40-40 game. So I mean, I don't know, man. That was pretty disappointing because that's all I've been hearing is how good this defense is. Mm-hmm. Best defense in the league after week 2, and then we have a couple stinkers there. So I don't know. That was pretty disappointing. I was telling you, I think you asked like, what's the vibe around Packerland?
Yeah.
It's funny, man. I don't know. Like, I don't listen to a lot of talk radio, so I don't know like, that side of the opinions. But it's funny. Most people are like, oh well, we'll get them next week. Go. Like it's so funny. Everybody's we're just happy to be Packer fans. Happy to live in Wisconsin. So. Everyone here is, still pretty optimistic about the Packers and just happy to be here, happy to be along for the ride. I don't think anybody's calling for from out or anything.
No, yeah, and the thought just popped in my head, right? So when you were saying you were outside cooking, right? Mel and I did a Midwest trip, right? And we stopped in Madison, Wisconsin, and we were out there at the beginning of spring, and it was like 40 degrees, and people were out barbecuing, right? Because like that was warm, right? And so is it that
year long? Yeah, I would do it. If it was snowing, I would be out there. Yeah. Oh, for sure. I'd be out there all year long.
So do you think as a Packer fan, the mood changes with the weather, right? Like as the snow starts dumping on you and you got to start shoveling the snow and the feet after feet after feet of snow start piling up on top of your property. Do you think that Packer L is going to hit a little bit harder when you got 6 feet of snow on you, Ben?
Kendall, that's so funny that you say that because the weather is absolutely amazing right now. The beginning of October, it's like the most unusual. It was 83 degrees today. I mean, it was too hot, but it's been so warm. So I think part of it is that where people are just like, hey, it's not snowing, weather's great, we tied, all good. You know?
No, I mean, I'm here for it, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing when, nothing is bad because you got good weather, right? And again, that's West Coast kids know very little about those types of winters, right? And so I've had a few PNW winters, which I've heard are definitely, like dialed down versions of Midwest or East Coast, right? So I'm not saying, when I got my 3 or 4 days of snow, that got washed out by the first rain, that I've got, the first inkling of what it's like to go through that. But I could definitely, see how an 83 degrees, even though it might be a little bit too warm, it makes a 40-40 tie a little bit easier to swallow.
Kendall, even for us San Diego guys, yeah, those 3 days of snow, whether it's 0 degrees, 20 degrees, it's different, man. It's different. But
Yeah, so I think even just again being up here doing a little bit of traveling, getting that appreciation for like what a cold weather game actually means, right? I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast last week, but my neighbor is going to be going to a Green Bay Packer game in a couple weeks here. They're playing the Bengals, right? Which at the beginning of the year was going to be such a sick game, and I'm kind of bummed because it's the first time he's going to get all those boys together and watch a game. But again, Lambeau, it's a legendary place to be. And on that note, are you planning on making a pilgrimage anytime soon, Ben?
I would like to try. The tickets have got a lot more expensive. So we went to a game our second year here when we were here. So it was like 2 years ago, and we got our tickets for like $150. So they were fine. They're a lot more expensive this year. I don't know if it's just because they're so much better or what. So I've been looking casually just to kind of see if prices drop. I definitely want to go to one. Almost had a chance to go to the Thursday night game, the Commanders game. Yeah, we had a friend that's like, almost had a chance for that one. But so yeah, I'll keep looking. I'd like to go this year, but I'm not going to force it. Yeah.
All right. Well, keep us updated, Ben. Especially if we get a cold weather game. Love to see you bundled up with the rest of the Packer faithful.
Yeah, I love to go to a cold weather game. The one we went to last time was like in the 50s, and it was cold, but it was nice. But yeah, I'd love to do a freeze my tail off. Just for the experience.
All right. So even though we've had a pretty warm trade market in our league, NFL hasn't had a huge amount of trades going on. As the trade deadline approaches in about a month for the NFL, and then I think we still have about 6 weeks left in ours. How does the trade deadline in the NFL look to you right now? I've got AJ Brown, DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley, maybe David Njoku, Kirk Cousins, if the right situation opens up. San Francisco might not have a quarterback next week. And then, maybe Derrick Henry if, the Baltimore's trying to move on from the King, before, the clock strikes 12. Any of those names jump out to you as possible trade candidates?
I think the only one that I've heard of those names, AJ a little bit. From what I was hearing, something about his contract, like it might be too hard to move in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know that. I want to change, Kendall. I want to change. So,
yeah.
So that was disappointing. I've heard DJ Moore. I've heard that one. I think you and Hunter were talking about that last week. So that one I had heard. I heard Kamara, Alvin Kamara too.
Ooh, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I want my boy AJ gone. He needs to be somewhere else. Somewhere in the ball.
Again, as a Devonta Smith owner, I would not be against that. So I think another thing that I'm thinking about is if I'm putting myself a month forward and I'm getting into my squirrely trade mode and I'm trying to read the tea leaves of who's going to get traded. I know you've said you've been conservative, but I feel like you've been right there with me at times making these speculative trades, assuming some kind of trade is going to happen. Are you going to be dialed into the trade market this year? Do you feel like that's something that you're willing to take a little more risk on when it comes to the trade market, whether it be preemptive or like right after the trade happens, before we get that first game in?
Are we talking about when real NFL players get traded? Actual
NFL, yeah.
I'm not really thinking of that too much right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Not really going there. I haven't done anything yet. A lot of people have reached out about just different stuff. I've reached out to a few people, maybe not as much as normal. But yeah, just kind of staying staying patient right now.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Our waiver wire has been a fun excursion for those who are brave enough to get deep into the waters early. The waters are looking a little bit more shallow these days, Ben. We're starting to see kind of that second round of guys that are sitting at the end of your roster getting dropped for the hottest waiver wire ad. Again, kudos to the league. Woody Marks was picked up. Kenneth Gainwell was picked up. We saw Darren Waller go for not only $10 and then instantly drop, but then 25, right? Do you feel like the waiver wire has taken on like a new twist now that we're into the bye week gauntlet, Ben?
Well, our league is just, it's so much sharper. Like, I mean, every year it feels like it just gets stronger with the waiver wire. I mean, it's so much sharper than it was. I mean, I remember, gosh, I mean, like 7, 8 years ago, and you just feel like you could just keep turning the roster for backup running backs, and nobody, you would drop somebody. Okay, nobody's gonna pick them up. Now it's like any waiver wire article that you read, like, no, nobody's available in our league. Like, you have to, no, it has to be like a 20-team league. Those are the guys that are available in our league.
Yeah.
Like I was looking at, anyway, so no, it's tight. I mean, it's real tight. Like I have, that Rashard Smith guy. I dropped him.
I know. I watched.
Yeah. There's moments I want to, like, if I drop him, I'm not getting him back again. So
no, you're not.
No, I'm not. And then it's tighter too with losing that bench spot. I wanted the smaller bench spot the first time around, and then when we didn't get it, I was actually okay. Like I thought it was fine last year.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we did reduce it. I think, I'm glad we did reduce it. It makes things interesting, a little more interesting. There's definitely some guys out there that I would like to stash, but I do it. So our league's sharp. Our league is tough. I mean, even like, we make fun of Luke and stuff. Like Luke's picked up some guys. I'm like, oh my gosh, come on. Luke. I want him, so.
No, I totally agree. Again, I was a big critic of Luker, but he's been crushing it so far this year, and I love to see the activity out of him. Again, I will say it's getting sharper. I wouldn't say that it's sharp yet, right? So like one of the things, and I think there's probably like a name for this, right? But like cycling through the backup running backs as the games go on throughout the day, right? I think I'm the only one that's actually doing that right now. So like I'll pick up a back for Thursday night, drop them, pick up a 10 a.m., drop them, pick up an afternoon game, drop them, pick up and so I'm usually cycling through 2, if not 3 running backs on a given week, right? Giving myself 3 or 4 opportunities as opposed to a single opportunity every week when it comes to getting that injury away guy. So I would love to see more people do that and make my job a little bit harder, because it's just a matter of time before I hit. It's not like it's guaranteed every single time, but I also feel like, again, I was on the same boat. I didn't vote for the drop. I think I could see it working out. I think that as we start getting a little bit more into the year, we're going to start seeing some bigger names dropped. And anyways, I'm interested to see how it plays out. We're doing great on time, Ben. We're going to move it on to feel it or fuck it. You can say feel it or F it if you feel, but I'm a full fuck kind of guy. Genty and the Raiders have turned the corner. Feel it or fuck it.
The Raiders, F it. Genty, Genty, feel it. I think he'll start rolling.
Judkins is a fantasy running back 1.
Feel that. I am feeling that, Kendall.
Isaiah Bond has more upside than Cedric Tillman season long.
Never heard of Isaiah Bond in my life, but I feel it. With Cedric Tillman, we know his upside. So
I love it. I'll look him up. Sam Darnold is an ideal scheme for how his abilities match with the Hawks.
Yes, week 5. I'm thinking 3 or 4 touchdowns. Let's go. Feel it.
Elijah Arroyo is a threat to break out this year.
Nah, F it.
Arondé Gatson, same question. Threat to break out this year.
I got him on a lot of best ball teams, so let's go. Yeah, feel it.
Wheels up on Gatson. Gatson team, baby. Atlanta has finally figured out how to play Kyle Pitts Sr.
Yeah, feel it.
Brock Bowers is dooming his managers to fantasy misery this year.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know about misery. I mean, certainly disappointment. So yeah, I'll say feel it. Yeah, it's
okay. It's time to panic for Ladd McConkey's fantasy value.
Nah, F it.
Ladd and AJ, same panic boat or two different guys?
Oh my gosh, this guy. If you're, yeah, feel it.
All right, Amari DiMercado is going to have spot start by starter value.
Yeah, feel it.
Luke McCaffrey has a growing role in DC.
F it.
Yeah, fuck you, Sam. Amari and Hampton, breakout game, breakout season, feel it or fuck it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Feel it. Yeah.
All right. Brian Thomas Jr., wrist injury, can be put to bed now.
Yeah, feel it.
Bijan Robinson over CMC.
Ooh, yeah. Just barely. CMC's right there. Yeah, I feel it.
All right. Bashal Tootin will not overtake ETN this season.
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah, he won't.
And our last one, Robert Saleh and Liam Cohen beef. Is this stealing is this stealing signs legit?
Is the what?
They were beefing over stealing each other's signs.
Oh, I didn't hear
do you think
that.
is that legit or no?
I don't. I'll say feel it. That's funny. I don't. I just saw the beef afterwards. I didn't realize what was going on. That's funny.
Yeah. All right, Ben. That was feel it or fuck it. That was amazing. We're going to take a step off into the wonderful new burgeoning world of AI. I know AI, personally speaking, has a role in your family's life. Another coffee meetup at some point in the past blessed me and my family with an opportunity to cozy up to, the new friend that is AI. So when I say AI, Ben, personally, professionally, or just your overarching thoughts on how it's going to impact society, what does AI mean to you today?
So, okay, so I teach, right? I'm sure you know that by now. So I teach, I've taught all kinds of different stuff, but this year I'm teaching math. Last year I taught special ed. And at this point, man, I don't even know if I could teach. I mean, I utilize it so much now. Like it would be, if somehow it just all went away, I don't think I could do my job. Like I rely on it. I would just freeze up. Yeah, so I love it. I mean, for things like, let's say we have a test coming up on Wednesday and we're going to review, so I'm going to make a practice test, I'll just type in all the questions to the test, tell it to make me, different versions, similar problems, oh no, make it a little easier, make it a little harder, change this, change that. Like it just saves me so much time to have to go in and think of problems. Like, no, just have it do it. I mean, you still got to check it, like, as especially with math, like it's not perfect. Yeah. My students find out that all the time. They're like, oh, you must have one, Mr. V, so they always like catching that. But yeah, it saves me a lot of time there. Even with I'm teaching math, but I'm not I like it and I'm good at it, but I'm not I don't know the ins and outs of everything. So I do have to look over the stuff and review it. So anyway, I'll copy the text online, throw it in, explain it to me in simple language or whatever. And cool. Help me explain it to a 7th grader, but give me an analogy, so it really just helps me plan for lessons and make complex concepts simpler, helps me, do that. So yeah, I mean, I use it a ton, even for assessing kids, such and such student can do this and do this and do this. What are the next steps? So yeah, it's not perfect. You got to use your own knowledge and stuff, but it's a great just starting point. As a special ed teacher, I'm writing a ton of reports, and these reports are read to the parents and in a meeting with the administrator and my boss and all these important people. So you just gotta be sure you're talking about the kid the right way. So you type it in, Chat GPT, make this sound more professional, then make this sound more like, and by the time then you get something that sounds like you and it's what you wanted. So that's super helpful. I mean, and obviously, and then there's like the normal stuff like emails running through. If I'm going to send out an email to all the teachers, like I need to make sure I, have my stuff together. So and then, I'm trying to like help the kids use it too, like in a wise way. I mean, here in Wisconsin, it's where we're at. It's a small town. The school is attached to a Baptist church, and it's just like a lot of how do I say it? It's different than like a California school. Like it's very much like older thinking. So anyway, like when it comes to AI, like a lot of the kids' parents are like, no, you're not allowed to use it, and it's just like, this is not a good thing, that type of thing. So just trying to, and so when they hear that I'm using it, it's like, look at what Mr. V is doing. He's on, like, what do you like? Do we not use Google? So just showing them how to, like, I'll tell them, like, work on your problems at home. If you can't figure it out, tell Chat GPT to act like a tutor for you, and so having them see that it's a tool and not just like a way to cheat. So that's kind of how it is right now with me. I think it's going to totally help and change education. If you think of like homeschool parents, who's doing independent study, even like with me with Josiah, one thing I'm not really great at is teaching kids how to read. That's just not that just never really grasped with me. So I don't know like how to teach Josiah how to read, but like obviously I want to teach him how to read. So same thing, telling ChatGPT, I have a 4-year-old who can do this and this and this. What are the next steps? And so that's been super helpful too. But
dude, I'm blown away. Like I would say I'm shocked, to hear how much you're using AI. But I think that says more about me, because I think I had you painted as like the Luddite of the group, right? The guy who like refused to touch technology or like kind of stay up with the times. But maybe I was just misreading, you not responding to text messages. And here you are, dude. It's like I should
have a ChatGPT answer.
I mean there's your solution right there, Ben. And it dawned on me that this is like the 3rd time we've talked about AI, and I've never asked AI anything about fantasy until just like a week ago, right? And I was like, man, and so I was like asking him, I was like neutralizing it. Okay, like so if I value Judkins as like an RB14 and or 11, I think it was, and Wilson as a wide receiver 11, right? Like, would you do that trade straight up, right? And it's like, well, context matters and blah blah blah, and like it gives you like a really solid, like readout on all that kind of fun stuff, right? So if you're not using AI for fantasy already, I think it's time to at least just toss a few things out there, right? And then you touched on so much good stuff, Ben. And as an educator, that's a close thing to my heart, because my whole family are educators, and I think I would love to take it on the stewardship towards the kids, angle, because that's a big part of how I see our girls growing up, right? And I think that we do a lot of like medical guess and check with AI, right? That like if stuff's going on, we'll kind of like give it the symptoms and be like, hey, like, do we need to call, the nurse line or this or that, right? And I would say another thing, like on the education side with the girls, when we went back to California, one of the things we asked, like, hey, swimming lessons, like, how do you do swimming lessons? And like, it spits out some YouTube videos, gives you some like general, dynamics, right? So do you feel like you're going to give them access to the same AI that you have? Or are you guys looking into like parental controls, or have you guys even gotten into that stuff yet?
For like Josiah, like our kids? No, we haven't gotten there. I mean, he doesn't use like the phone or, not at this point. So we're not there. That's not really something we've even, I'm sure we will when we get there, but I have no idea what that even looks like at this point. I haven't done something really touched on. So I don't know what that would look like.
Yeah, so like the next thing I think about, right, is my high school girlfriend, her oldest sister had a kid, and when we were getting into high school, they when the kid was going into elementary school was like their first time they were offering publicly available like iPad classes, right? And so the parents had to choose, do you want like the iPad learning or do you want the like traditional learning, right? And as much as I like trust and I believe in educators, because I think educators are some of the few people that like are there because they want to be there, right? Even though like the pay is not necessarily great. That I don't think I have ever heard of like a school that doesn't have a majority of educators where they're like at some point dipping into their own pocket or like giving up their own time to like help the community, right? And so that's not to say that like it's a flawed system with how slow the educational material is given to them and how slow the system is to adapt, right? I think there's still a lot of gaps in them just catching up to the internet era, let alone like latching on to the AI rocket that's about to explode off into space, right? And so for me, a huge reason to be moving towards AI is maybe less about me and my use, but like trying to be familiar with it so that as the girls are taking it up for the first time, that they have that comfortability and that like I have the ability, again, not to really like guide them, and like the parental controls are not so much like what I'm concerned about, but it's kind of like the stewardship aspect, right? Because I don't know about you and when you were younger, but I was given just like, here's a computer, here's the internet, go for it, right?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of things that were really cool about that, but then there was a lot of things that like really fucked with me, you know, because like getting onto the internet and just like talking to strangers is not good for a fucking 12-year-old, you know. And if it's not good for a 12-year-old to talk to random humans, like what is a 12-year-old with AI gonna do, you know? And
Right.
so I thought a little bit about it, you know, like again, 2.5, 1 years old, we've got a little bit of time. But at the same time, all the audio stuff is already there, right? Like Chloe can ask Google to like play music and shit, right? And it's like only a matter of time before she's asking it questions, right?
Mhm.
And so it's like on one side of my and on one shoulder is like, oh, this is awesome, right? She's gonna be able to like all the terrible twos. She's gonna be the first toddler to have every question she's ever asked answered, you know?
Yeah.
But then on like the other side is like, it's going to be the first time that's ever happened, and so like what's going to happen to her brain, and like how am I going to be able to like keep up with what she's doing, you know? And so like now that all that shit's out there, does any of that stuff stick with what's going on with you guys?
I don't think we're there with Josiah, like with like using technology on his own.
Yeah.
He'll let's see, what will we do? I mean, I guess to the extent like if it's okay, like if I would take him to get a haircut, like if the two of us go get a haircut, if I'm getting my haircut and he's just waiting, like I'll give him my phone to like watch something. But that's kind of the extent, like you're just watching something or listening to something. As far as like he wouldn't know how to operate or talk to Siri. I think or anything like that.
Okay.
I don't know when we would get there with him.
Is that like expressly like forbidden? Like, do you guys tell him not to do that, or is it just like one of those things that just never came up to be that way?
I think we always tried to, like, before we had kids, it was okay. We're gonna like just make not have technology be so accessible to them. Like we're gonna try, I know we said, we'll never give them phones at dinner. And it's like, okay, sure, Ben, never give them phones like that. Sometimes it's just, you just got to do what you got to do. So that does happen now, but but it's just for us right now, at least it's like, okay, you're crying. Like we've been in the car for 6 hours. Like, okay, here's the phone, watch a movie. But that's kind of the extent. Like, I don't think, we haven't like showed him how to operate anything. He doesn't know how to, and I think we're fine with that right now. In fact, you bringing it up, I haven't even considered it. But I think the time will come when, it just doesn't feel right now.
Yeah.
I just don't want him, like, he has a little toy phone. He brought it out today and he put it in his back pocket and he's like, see, Dad, I have a phone like you. And even that was kind of weird for me. I'm like, maybe I could put my phone away. I shouldn't have it out so much around him. So I mean, I'm sure the time will come, but it's just not right now.
Yeah. And it's tough, like, again, like we're the same boat, right? Before we had kids, we're never going to give them a phone. We're never going to do TV time. Right. And, it just slips its way in there, like you're tired, you're sleep deprived, the kids are going nuts. Right. And like, you need a little bit of, support. And so you just hook them up and it, unplugs their brain and you're good to go for a little while. But again, like we're painfully aware of that too, right? It's not as if you're not completely aware of what's going on. And again, I'm not on the page where I'm like, okay, AI is going to be different, because I think that there's so much more room to go before it's like quote unquote safe, and there's still a lot of like motives behind the way that AI is being presented to the public. And in as much as I think it's a phenomenal tool for like most use cases, yeah, kids, I think is still like an area where I have a lot of evolving thoughts about it, and so it's
yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, it's cool to hear what other people are doing, not only like what you're doing within your life, but again, just like how you're treating not only your kids at work, but then your kids at home.
Yeah, and I think what you said earlier kind of gave me an idea. It's like I think it is important for us to stay on like the cutting edge, I guess, of just like what's new, because eventually, like whether we try to prevent our kids from having it or not, like they're going to be exposed to it. So it's wise for us to at least like always know what's going on, so that when there's things like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is, or that's beneficial, shoot, that's not beneficial, or how let's make, I know how to make it, as opposed to like them knowing it and then you're learning it.
Right.
I don't. So I think it is good for us to always know what's going on.
Yeah, I think that an awareness bit is like a big part of where I'm coming from too, that I, selfishly want to be there to like kind of see how stuff evolves, but I also want to be there as like that support person or like that steward, right, for the next generation. So with that, Ben, we're at our hour mark. I really appreciate you coming on. Thanks for all the fun trade talks, the last 48 hours. I'm bummed I couldn't get Judkins off you, but you have any final thoughts for the people?
Just, man, Kendall, I'm so glad that you're doing this. Like, so shout out to Sam and Thomas. Like, I love the podcast. Yeah. I love what they do. I know we joke about Ben not listening. Like I may not listen right away, but I eventually do.
Yeah.
But I also, like, for different reasons, Kendall, enjoy this podcast. Both of them have like very different vibes, and they're both fun to listen to. For someone that's like now moved away and I don't have like my family and close friends, I'm driving to work and it's just cool to have like Kendall and Hunter like bantering in my car. Kendall and Thomas, like it's cool. So it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy listening to all you guys. So it definitely did. It has a very on the couch, Sigmund Bloom, Cecil feel. So I caught that right away, and I love it. So
no, I appreciate that, Ben. I'm grateful to be able to do all this stuff with you. I feel like I'm getting more out of these interviews than the league is. Selfishly, it's been a really amazing experience on that front. And thanks to Thomas and Sam for kicking the whole thing off, right? Because it didn't even occur to me that was a thing, and I was like, oh shit, they're doing it. And then a little bit later, I was like, wait, I could do it, So on that note, Ben, in a universe empty or overflowing with star stuff, I'm glad to have shared this moment with you now. You are loved from here to fantasy football till death. And showtime.